Hello there, I'm Bob Vale, and once again it's my pleasure to be your host for the Speedway Show. Brought to you from Speedway Park right here in Adelaide, the speed capital of Australia and the Grand Prix city. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight. 35 events were run on the program, and great stuff it was too. But before we get into that action, I have two special guests in the studio. It is always great to see the women involved in Speedway, and they are, of course, out there as drivers, passengers on sidecars, and in official capacity. My guest tonight is Maxine Tompkins, and Maxine is the official handicapper for the bike sections. Maxine, how did you get into Speedway, and how long have you been the handicapper?
I've been involved with motorcycling itself for 20 years, and it's only the last 3 years that I have done the handicapping officially for the LSC.
Good. Now, with these handicaps, Maxine, do they change at any set period, or can you change them during the running of a program?
Sometimes I do change them on the night. It all depends how the boys are going. If they're going really well, then I'll put them back. If they're not, well, then I'll put them forward.
Fine. Maxine, now with tonight's program, we've got the state championship, of course, for the best pairs in sidecars. Do these pairs just sort themselves out, or do you grade them and match them up accordingly?
No, the pairs are taken on the handicaps themselves. Normally we run 1 to 14, 2 to 13, but we've had to bring some interstaters in tonight to make it more interesting, and we've put our own top local riders together, but the final decision is made by the LSC.
Our other guest in the studio tonight is Sam Bass. Sam is the senior referee with the bikes here in South Australia. Sam, what are the basic responsibilities of a referee?
The referee at a Speedway meeting has supreme control of the meeting. It's his responsibility to start it on time and to keep it flowing smoothly. He is the only one with the authority to stop a race. He also has the responsibility of starting the races to make sure that all competitors have an even start and no one gains advantage. And really, he is the man in charge. He has total charge from the beginning to the end. It's a rather large responsibility for a man to have.
Well, now, obviously, over the years, Sam, you've had some problems to deal with as a referee, but there must have been some highlights too. What are some of the good things you've found out of Speedway?
Tonight was a fine example, the comradeship between the riders. For instance, Chris Ray, who came second tonight, virtually gave the championship to Schultz and Radford by lending Brian Schultz his bike in one race. Yeah. If he hadn't have lent his bike, then Chris Ray and Jim Irwin would have been the champions. Rod Kemp from Broken Hill, I think his bike went out on 9 occasions. Clary Jones was riding it, Shane Suter, I think, or Clinton Curran rode it. And this is the sort of thing, the boys, they're all competitors, they all want to win, but they will lend each other a bike, and they're all friends. And this is good to see in competitors, especially a hard sport like this.
Sam, it's been noticeable in the last few weeks, of course, that we haven't had any solo competition. There is obviously a reason for this. What's the story behind it?
Well, unfortunately, sections have highs and they have lows. At the moment, we've got quite a few outfits, probably not as many as we had in the past. At the moment, we're very short on top solo riders or even up-and-coming solo riders. At this time of the year, we have the likes of Stephen Baker and Mark Fiora. They're about to return to England to ride in the English season. We have quite a few injuries from solo riders that have injured over the last 3 or 4 weeks at different tracks. And at this time of the year, we always find that it's a lot harder to fill a program than early in the year. And it's not there's no easy answer to it. At Murray Bridge, Renmark, Whyalla, all these tracks at this time of the year, we have a little bit more problem to actually make a full program of solos or sidecars because of the injuries, mechanical failure, and the top boys returning to England.
Well, thanks, Sam. That's certainly understandable, and I hope that we'll see them all back in full flight at Speedway Park next season.
Yes, I'm sure we will.
That's great. Sam, join us now for the first few heats of the State Best Pairs Championships in sidecars.
Although all looks in readiness now, they come up to the line. This won't have pleased the other starters either because they've been sitting there riding the clutch of the bike, and the clutch heats up. There's a little bit of contact between the clutch and pressure plate, where Set to go now. They're away and racing, and Kemp missed the start. Something shocking, but like a startled rabbit. Brian Schultz and Shane Wade are out of the gate and low flying around the outside of the track. There's Brian Bradford and Colin Olds on the inside, and they've got been passed now by Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead. But here's Brian Schultz and Shane Wade roaring down the straight. Rob Kemp and Milstead running in second spot. They've certainly got the bike wound up and geared into the clay track as well. Brian Schultz and Shane Wade riding out in the lead, and an enormous lead they've got too. I've never seen anybody gate so fast. They really shot out of the starting barrier like they were on a catapult. They're out in the lead. In second spot, Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead. And we've got Ron Brodie running in third spot. He's passed Brian Bradford and Colin Olds, so there's maybe a problem with Ratty's bike. And it certainly is. Ratty slowed right down in the back straight and withdrawing from the race, but the checkered flag is out for one, Brian Schultz. Shane Wade over the line first. Second is 41, Ron Brodie and Andy Stewart, and Rob Kemp is in third. Now, considering the lead that Kemp had over Ron Brodie, Kemp has also got bike troubles. Brian Bradford and Colin Olds slowly over the line just then, and there's major problems with his bike. Set to go now in event 6. We've got Nipper Crab and Rod Webb on the inside there, number 25. Jim and Brian Baskin beside them. Marty Hertmans, Anthony Marker, and right on the outside is Chris Ray, who does a wheel stand again the second time tonight, missing a lot of ground there when he took off. Jim and Brian Baskin out in the lead there. Marty Hertmans, Anthony Marker in second spot. They were a little bit crossed up coming out of that corner, riding a fairly high line. They bring it down tighter now. Back behind them is Nipper Crab and Rod Webb. But Jim Irwin and Brian Baskin lead down the straight there. Powering it on and roaring around it, holding on to that lead. Marty Hertmans and Anthony Marker in second spot. And there's Nipper Crab and Rod Webb riding for New South Wales, running in third. It's Marty Hertmans out in front. Marty Hertmans in second spot rather, and he's riding for New South Wales. Jim Irwin and Brian Baskin for South Australia out in the front. Here comes Hertmans with a last-ditch attempt down the back straight now. It's the final lap. Trying to make up a bit of ground on Irwin, who's riding a beautiful line through that corner. Here comes Hertmans around behind him. Looks for the outside line, but Irwin's too strong. And 49, Jim Irwin, Brian Bascom over the line first. Second is 39, Marty Herkmans, Anthony Marker in for second. Third is 25, Nipper Crab and Rod Webb. And Chris Ray, Rob Hardy having a dreadful night back in fourth spot there. Okay, coming in for a start now, Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead from the inside there from New South Wales, number 7. Beside him, Victoria's Clary Jones and Les Gates. Then we've got Ron Brodie and Andy Stewart. Right on the outside is Victoria 10, Shane Suter and Mick Pratt. Oh, and who we got? We got Rob Kemp missing to start badly, but Shane Suter is away and running out of the lead there. Shane Suter, current Victorian champ and Tasmanian champ, leading them in no uncertain terms down the main straight. Bad luck for Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead. They missed the start badly, stalled the bike and had to get a push start, and they are now 3/4 of a lap behind the race leaders. There's Ron Brodie and Andy Stewart running in second spot. Now we've got a withdrawal from Clary Jones and Les Gates. Clary Jones and Les Gates are out of the race, and this looks really bad. They're sharing the bike tonight with Wayne Manor and Ricky Schoenfeld. But out in front, it's Shane Suter and Mick Pratt. Here they go. Shane Suter and Mick Pratt really putting the power on. Ron Brodie and Andy Stewart running in second spot down the straight there. Then the red was Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead. They missed the start, but there's the checkered flag for Victoria 10. Shane Suter, passenger Mick Pratt. 41, Ron Brodie and Andy Stewart in second spot. And as we said, coming around to take the checkered flag a long way back after missing the start as New South Wales 7, Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead.
Shane, this bike of yours is quite unusual. Who actually designed it?
It was designed and built by myself and my stepfather, Alf Dickerson. We just looked around last year's Australian title, all different concepts of frames, and pulled in all the best sort of ideas and come out with a winner, apparently. So.
Well, it certainly is quite unusual because it seems to sit very low.
Yeah, we aimed at a sort of low centre of gravity to keep the motor down as low as possible. It's slightly too low. At times we do hit a few bumps underneath the motor, but we're coping with it at the moment.
And had a few problems with it early tonight.
Yeah, we usually take a couple of races before we get used to a track. We've never ridden at Speedway Park before, so after that we sorted our gearing and our tyres out and we come good.
And as current Victorian champion, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Also, we noticed that the the tank is sitting right forward over the front wheel.
Yeah, that allows to get more weight over the front end, as well as the rider can move up and down on the seat as far as possible without restricted by the tank between his legs.
We have seen that once before with Clary Jones's bike, but this one obviously is doing well. Where do you go on from here?
We go on from now to Easter, to the Australian titles, and represent Victoria there, and after that, well, who knows.
Well, you've enjoyed it here tonight?
Yeah, it's been very good, yeah. I love it.
We wish you the best for it, and we'll see you back here, we hope.
Thanks a lot.
And they're set for a start. Jack Bettman calls up Clint Curran to the line a little bit. Set to go. And away they go in a good line too. Curran does a bit of a wheel stand as they head off down the straight, but he's rounded up on the corner by Marty Herkmans. Marty Herkmans in Anthony Marker. Draw away from them down the back straight there. Clint Curran running in second spot. Now got a move coming from Nipper Crab, trying for an inside line there. He's running in third spot at the moment. Marty Herkmans, Anthony Marker out in the lead. Followed by Clint Curran and Gary O'Neill from Victoria. Nipper Crab and Rod Webb back there in third spot. And back at the rear is Murray and Alex Zock. But out in front, Marty Herkmans. He's got no problems out there. He's drawing away from the rest of the field. Clint Curran, Gary O'Neill running in second spot. There they go in the all white. And the red you can see just behind them is Nipper Crab and Rod Webb. Now there's a challenge on there for third spot. Back in the field, and it's on. There it is, and it's Murray and Alex Zock through underneath. But can they hang on to it? Can they hang on to it? Yes, they have. But over the line first goes 39, Marty Herkmans in for first. 42, Clint Curran for second. Murray and Alex Zock for third, just pipping Nipper Crab and Rod Webb for that third placing on the final lap. And a good win there for 39, Marty Herkmans and Anthony Marker. Heat 10 coming up now, the South Australian Sidecar Best Pairs Championships. Right on the inside, Jim Irwin and Brian Bascombe having a tremendous night tonight. The bike flying. Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead by side then. And we've got Chris Ray and Rob Hardy right on the outside as Ron Rodey and Andy Stewart. And they're off to a good start, and Ray does it again, does a wheel stand, but he recovers more quickly this time, roars around the outside and into the lead before Brian Bascombe can jump across onto the side. But it's Jim Irwin and Brian Bascombe in second spot. Now there is Chris Ray, Rob Hardy certainly making up for those poor starts in the earlier races. Chris Ray, Rob Hardy running in first spot. Jim Irwin, Brian Bascombe running in second. Then we've got Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead running in third spot. And back at the rear is Ron Rodey and Andy Stewart. But no challenge to Chris Ray, and Chris Ray will be rapt about this. Jim Irwin and Brian Bascombe unable to make any moves on him. Chris Ray, Rob Hardy. Rob Hardy hangs over the side there. Jim Irwin riding a slightly tighter line and made up a little bit of ground there. Now back running in third spot is a challenge. A challenge going on back there for third, and the challenge is underway and been taken by Ron Rodey, who's wound the bike up and has got into third. But there's the checkered flag for 53. Chris Ray, Rob Hardy over the line first. For 49, Jim Irwin, Brian Bascombe for second. Third is 41, Ron Rodey and Andy Stewart. And Rob Kemp, Mike Milstead is there over the line in fourth position. But what a race, what a tremendous race for Chris Ray and Rob Hardy. Really pulling it out of the bag, pull back further than that. And Clark, of course, Jack Bettman shows him just where he's got to pull back to. And Clary Jones has stalled the bike by the look of things. Clary Jones has stalled the bike. Caught, no, he hasn't. He's just turning around. What's he doing? Clary Jones comes back. Got something missed with the bike. Bearing in mind it's an unfamiliar bike. He's not quite sure of how everything goes together on it. Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead's bike. Rob races quite a lot up at Mildura with Clary. And Clary seems to be happier with the machine now. Nods his head to Clark, of course, Jack Bettman. Brian Schultz, Shane Wade come in again. And we're set for a start. Clary Jones nudging the tapes. Clary being told to pull back. That clutch seems to be grabbing on the bike. Let's see. We're set for a start. Yes, let him go, please. Oh, away. Oh, on a wheel stand for Ian and Graham Weldon, and Clary Jones off to a poor start. Brian Schultz and Shane Wade are roaring away in the lead. But look at this. Shane Suter coming up on the inside. Shane Suter and Mick Pratt running in second spot. Brian Schultz in the lead, hanging in there. How long can he hold off Shane Suter and Mick Pratt, though? They're really low flying. Running in fourth spot is Clary Jones and Les Gates, and back at the rear is Ian and Graham Weldon. There they go. Down the straight, into the corner, but down the back straight, it's Brian Schultz and Shane Wade, and what an enormous lead he's opened up over Shane Suter and Mick Pratt. Brian Schultz and Shane Way with 1 lap to go. And the bike really going well. Shane Suter must be wondering what he has to do to catch up to these South Australians. Brian Schultz and Shane Wade wheeling it through the final corner. And Shane Suter, Mick Pratt, no answer for him. Brian Schultz, Shane Wade over the line first. Oh, did they? Did they? Brian Schultz, Shane Wade just dropped off the pace now. I don't know what happened. It's like they completely lost power. And Shane Suter, of course, rocketing onwards. Well, there's a turn up.
Brian, looks as though the troubles are still with you.
Yeah, well, you know, everything was brand new in the engine. We just can't figure out what it would be. You know, perhaps just the rings have collapsed or broken up. We just don't know what's happened. You know.
So, will you be getting another ride tonight?
Yeah, we've got a couple of rides. We can borrow a couple of bikes. So, as long as I don't take the bad luck with me.
Shane, anything to add to that?
Just that like Brian Radford's had a bit of bad luck in the earlier heats as well, and now his bike seems to be going well, so with a bit of luck he'll be able to carry the team home.
Well, we hope the team goes well. What looks to be your next move then?
Well, Raddy will just have to get out and go for it, and we'll just have to ride the borrowed machine and do the best we can.
Well, good luck for that.
Oh, thank you.
Coming up now is Heat 12. Victoria 42, Clint Curran in the all-white there. Jim Irwin beside him. Then we've got Murray and Alex Ocken on the outside. Chris Ray and Rob Hardy. But Jim Irwin gets the jump. Rounds him up on the inside there. On the outside of Clint Curran. Puts the power on. Chris Ray and Rob Hardy up high. And they too have moved up into second spot now, but they're up a little bit high. Can Curran come back on them? Jim Irwin and Brian Bascom out in the lead. Chris Ray, Rob Hardy in second spot. Boy, these guys are absolutely flying tonight. Now, here's a move by Curran. Curran trying a tighter line through the corner. Comes up on the inside of Chris Ray and Rob Hardy. Curran through on the inside. Side by side, they come into the corner. Now, Chris Ray will have the advantage of a higher speed, but Curran's got the less distance to travel. Down the straight they go. Chris Ray, Rob Hardy. What's he going to do? Hang up high, then chop down low? Or is he going to keep the power on? He keeps the power on and puts it on down the back straight. Really neck and neck, these two. Keeps it a little bit faster into the corner. Can he chop down? No, he's up high. Curran coming back on him. Jim Irwin is out in the lead. Jim Irwin in the lead. Chris Ray hangs in there for second spot. Fantastic going for Chris Ray. And 42, Clint Curran and Gary O'Neill in for third. 49, Jim Irwin, Brian Bascom over the line first. 53, Chris Ray, Rob Hardy in a fantastic effort. And they're set to go. Come up to the line a little bit closer. That's Terry Fox. Let's see. Yep, we have a race. And a dead straight line there. A bit of muscling and nudging as they go into the corner. It's Terry Fox in the lead. Here comes the Suter boys, Rob and Les. And they're through. Out in front is Shane Suter. Shane Suter and Mick Pratt. Terry Fox and Paul Marker running in second spot. Then we've got the other Suter team of Rob and Les Suter. And back at the rear is Clary Jones. Clary's got bike troubles. And Les Gates are just circulating around at the moment. But out in front, it's Shane Suter. Look at him wheel that machine around. Shane Suter, Mick Pratt hanging off the side of the bike. Look at him go, just hanging right out there to give it stability. Then we've got 11, Terry Fox and Paul Marker also hanging off the side of the machine. Doing a tremendous job tonight, Paul Marker, considering it's the first time these two have ridden competitively together. And back in third spot is Rob Suter, Les Suter, but there's the checkered flag for Victoria 10, Shane Suter, Mick Pratt over the line first. 11, Terry Fox, Paul Marker in for second. Third was Victoria 7, Rob and Les Suter. And did Clary Jones, where is he? Clary pulled in field, I think. So bad luck. Clary's been absolutely plagued with problems tonight. Rob Kemp's bike with Brian Schultz and Shane Wade aboard. Moving into position 3, right on the outside is Chris Ray and Rob Hardy, and away they go. And Schultz, he missed the gate rather badly there. But look at it, into the lead goes Brian Radford and Colin Olds. They're away. Jim Irwin and Brian Bascom running in second spot. Chris Ray and Rob Hardy, there they are with the blue front wheel. They're running back in third spot. There's Brian Radford and Colin Olds, Jim Irwin and Brian Bascom, really fast movers right out in the front there. Chris Ray and Rob Hardy, and they've proved that they're not slouching around tonight either. And the pressure's really on. Jim Irwin and Brian Bascom there with the orange front wheel. That's Brian Radford and Colin Olds. They're leading the race at the moment, but only by a hair's whisker from Jim Irwin and Brian Bascom. And running in third spot is Chris Ray and Rob Hardy. Back at the rear is Brian Schultz and Shane Wade on the borrowed bike of Rob Kemp and Mike Milstead. It's Radford and Colin Olds out in the lead and leading the way down the straight to take the checkered flag. 50, Brian Radford and Colin Olds over the line first. 49, Jim Irwin and Brian Bascom in for second. 53, Chris Ray, Rob Hardy third. And 1, Brian Schultz and Shane Wade in for fourth. So Brian Radford and Colin Olds doing a great job there in holding up the team side. Both teams who are level pegging, scoring 3 points out of that. Brian Radford and Colin Olds scoring 3 for their win. Jim Irwin and Brian Bascom scoring 2 for their second, and 53, Chris Ray and Rob Hardy scoring 1 point for the third. The time for the event was 53.91. Now that is a fast heat.
Quick. Brian, just before you head back out there again, you realise, of course, that you won beat the track record in that one. So obviously the bike going a lot better.
Yeah, well, when it stays going, it's going pretty quick, and pretty happy because that's the first track record we ever got. So yeah, I'm wrapped.
Riders moving up to the line for Heat 21, the final heat tonight of the South Australian Sidecar Best Pairs. Ian and Graham Weldon replacing Clary Jones. Their red letters there. Marty Herkins one to watch in the yellow helmet. And away they go with Shane Suter on the inside. Marty Herkman's having a real battle. There's leather and rubber rubbing there as Anthony Marker gets a taste of the sidecar wheel of Shane Suter's machine. Shane Suter in the lead. Here comes Marty Herkman's back at him again. It's Shane Suter, the Victorian and Tasmanian champ, running in the lead. Marty Herkman's and Anthony Marker right after him now. Good grief, these boys are all out now. It's an all-out battle down there. Marty Herkman's, Anthony Marker trying desperately to make up ground. There he is, Shane Suter, Mick Pratt roaring down the straight. Marty Herkman's riding a slightly more economical line. Makes up ground down the straight, comes into the corner. Shane Suter just hanging off there. Just moving down there, just keeping him at bay. Marty Herkman's must be wondering what he has to do to try and get past. But it's too late, the race is over. There's the checkered flag for Victoria 10. Shane Suter over the line first. 39, Marty Herkman's, Anthony Marker second. Third was 25, Nipper Crab and Rod Webb. And back at the rear was 68, Ian and Graham Weldon. Great going there, and we'll have to check on the points tally to see just who is going to take out the South Australian Sidecar Best Pairs Championship for the 1984-85 season. The time for that last event was 54.94.
Winning the South Australian Best Pairs, will you please give a big round of applause to Brian Radford and Colin Olds, and Brian Schultz and Shane Wade. Brian Radford, first of all. Brian, you must have thought a couple of times you weren't going to get there.
Yeah, well, I thought we'd be battling to get third, but it's just the way it goes, I suppose. A bit of luck.
And you haven't really found out what's wrong with the bike yet?
Yeah, it's just the wiring off the ignition. We've got to tidy it up a bit tomorrow. And I'd like to thank Brian Schultz and Shane Wade, our partners. I used to be Schultz's mechanic, and it's good to be riding with him and taking something like this out. And I'd like to thank my passenger, Colin Olds, my mechanics, Dave and Pete, GP Motorcycles, Competition Conversions, and Sealy, Delstar Electrical, and who else? That'll do.
All right, the passenger seems to know more than the rider, but very good and congratulations. The guy that nearly didn't get there, Brian Schultz and Shane Wade. Brian, I guess it's beaut to win the Cup and the Blue Sash, but you must be disappointed at the same time.
Oh, I've got used to all the disappointments. It's about the 8th engine we've blown, but I'm not too wrapped up in Suzuki engines at the moment. And next year we might have something different. While I'm here, I'd like to thank the sponsors, Andrew Eustace Nissan, Fox Sportswear, Hawkeye Heads, Wilson Cams, Bell Helmets, Alpine Star Boots, Walden Miller Leathers, everyone else that's give us a hand. Thanks.
Good on you. And once again, congratulations to Brian Schultz and Shane Wade, Brian Radford and Colin Old, and all the other place getters. Gentlemen, if you'd like to come back onto the mobile stage, I'm sure the ladies and gentlemen would like to give you a great round of applause. And I ask you please, because it was great riding, great entertainment, and truly they are the champions.
Cars coming around now for a start in the first of the Super Sedan match races, sponsored by M&M Motors. And we've got 15, Chris Blunden to lead them in. One on the outside of him is South Australia 1, Dean McCarthy. Then we have 96 Dallas Dyson, going to be a force to be reckoned with there. 21 is Bernie Gwynn, Rat Gwynn as he's known. His nickname has been Rat ever since he was at primary school, and he doesn't answer to anything else. So here we go. Chris Blunden in the immaculately prepared Commodore leads him in. There's the green flag. 4 two-lap dashes this is. Blunden holds him off through the corner. Dean McCarthy on the outside, trying everything, puts the foot down the back straight. London's got the Commodore handling nicely tonight. He's had his fair share of trouble since it was flipped end for end over in Victoria. But he sees her holding a beautiful line there. McCarthy's got no answer for it. 1 lap to go, and it's still Chris Blunden out in front. Oh, Dean McCarthy gives him a nudge, but he's out under challenge now from Dallas Dyson as Dyson looks for the inside run of McCarthy. There he is, Chris Blunden out in front. Dean McCarthy in second spot. Then we've got Dallas Dyson. Dyson trying for the inside line, gets down the straight, but no, not quite. And it's Chris Blunden, 15, and the Monia Commodore over the line first. We've got 1 Dean McCarthy for second, 96 Dallas Dyson third, and 21 Rat Gwynn over the line in fourth spot. So let's see how we go. They come around. Coming in faster and faster. And there's, and he gets pushed sideways, does Dean McCarthy. Dallas Dyson gets into the lead. McCarthy's back out again. Just missed what happened there as they came down the straight. It's Dallas Dyson in the lead. Chris Blunden coming up behind him. Rat Gwynn about to be challenged by Dean McCarthy. Dallas Dyson shows the lead down the straight. Chris Blunden slides a Commodore underneath him. They nudge, they touch wheels, but Dallas Dyson keeps it together down the back straight. Dallas Dyson out in the lead. Chris Blunden in second spot. Then Rat Gwynn and Dean McCarthy back behind him. Rat Gwynn goes up a little bit high, but down the straight. Dallas Dyson. Checkered flag for Dallas in car number 96. 15, Chris Blunden second. Third is 21 Rat Gwynn, and fourth will be a very annoyed Dean McCarthy, and especially after that bit of a nudge in the straight, which put him right off line. He went in field, had to back off, and came back out running in fourth spot. Time for those 2 laps, 34.7. That's a little bit quicker. 34.7, 35.6 the previous one. Okay, they're formed up, ready to go again. This time, Dallas Dyson from the inside. Rat Gwynn from 2, and Chris Blunden from 3. And there's the green flag. Dallas Dyson gets a jump into the corner. Rat Gwynn tries to cut down tight and effectively does block the way for Chris Blunden. Dallas Dyson on the outside of Blunden. Smoke streaming from Dallas Dyson's car. She erupts in smoke as he comes down the back here. What's he going to do? Is he going to pull in, or is he going to hang on? Smoke billowing from the car. Rat Gwynn inhaling lungfuls of smoke. Look at it. It's incredible. Will the engine hold together for another 2 laps? Down the back straight he goes. Dallas Dyson. The other car's almost blinded by the smoke. Rat Gwynn now comes out into the open, says, I can see my way now. And Dallas Dyson now takes the checkered flag, but there might be a bit of a protest about that. Rat Gwynn hangs on for second, Chris Blunden for third, and that smoke is a real hazard for the guys. They simply cannot see where they are going, and under the lights, it's causing a major traffic hazard. Now, Dallas Dyson is stopped on the far side of the track. We'll take the camera back a little bit. And Dallas Dyson has got the race. And his time is 34.8. 21 Rat Gwynn was second. 15 was Chris Blunden for third. Let's see how we go this time. They come around for the start. The green flag drops. Rat Gwynn keeps the big Camaro straight for the corner, but Chris Blunden rounds him up. Dallas Dyson, smoke still billowing from the car, trying to make his way through. Chris Blunden out in the lead. Now this will be interesting because Blunden will get 2 wins out of this if he can hang in there. Chris Blunden, Rat Gwynn in second spot. Dallas Dyson running in third. Then we've got Dean McCarthy running in fourth. And Dean McCarthy is being treated to lungfuls of smoke. But there's Dallas Dyson on the inside of Rat Gwynn. Moved up into second spot. He goes up high. Here's the checkered flag, though, for 15. Chris Blunden over the line first. Dallas Dyson second in car number 96. He'll switch that engine off right away. 21, Rat Gwynn is third. And 1, Dean McCarthy is fourth. Now, let's have a look. We've got 2 wins and a second for Dallas Dyson. We've got 2 wins and a second for Chris Blunden. Okay, the car's coming out now for a match race to decide the M&M Motors Super Sedan match race. And it's going to be interesting. They've had a look at Dallas Dyson's car, a very thorough look at it, and Dallas's mechanics are confident that the car will last the distance, even though that oil leak is causing mountains of smoke. Now Dallas Dyson has got the coin. He won the inside line, the most advantageous line. Chris Blunden on the outside. These cars were dead set straight on points. There's the green flag, and we've got a race, ladies and gentlemen. Now Dallas Dyson nudges Chris Blunden out, but that puts him off line a little bit. Blunden coming back on the inside. No, the gate's not there. And smoke blasts from Dallas Dyson's car. Into the corner he goes. He's drifting a little bit high, but look at this. It's Blunden, and he's spun it. He keeps the foot down. And that's it. That's the way it is. 96, Dallas Dyson's got to take the race out. Chris Blunden will sit there, and Dyson will come around the corner and see Blunden there and think to himself, why am I racing so fast? But there it is, the checkered flag for 96, Dallas Dyson in for first.
Thank you, guys. Well, what a great race, but certainly, I guess, an anti-climax for Chris Blunden. But the winner of the M&M Trophy for the 4x2 lap dashes, Dallas Dyson. Dallas, did you deliberately lay a James Bond type smoke screen to get rid of the opposition?
Yeah, thanks, mate. No, I didn't, but it helped. We just put new some locker covers on my motor during the week, and we had a feeling it might do that, but nowhere near as bad as that. But we'll get it fixed for the rest of the night. I'd also like to thank MMM Motors, Marino Myers, and of course his wives for putting this on. I personally thoroughly enjoyed it. First one I ever bet in, and look forward to many more. Thanks.
Congratulations, Dallas. A lovely trophy, and again our thanks to M&M Motors for that lovely trophy. In second place, doing a big spin out, most unusual, Chris Blunden. Chris, congratulations. I guess it was a bit of an anti-climax. What went wrong?
I think I might have come together with Dallas there in the first corner, but take nothing away from him. He drove well. He's very quick, very quick. While I'm here, I would like to thank Marino and Morris from M&M Motors. They prepare all my engines and do all the tuning up on it. And of course, to Monio as well, thanks.
And Kim Cottrell bringing them in. Tony Parkinson behind him. Watch this car go. There's the green flag. And Dallas Dyson tries for an inside line, and Ivor Beneke. Ivor won't have a bar of it. Stevie Stewart round the outside in the Grand National car number 47. Dallas Dyson on the outside and slots himself in, gets himself crossed up, faces the oncoming traffic. There's a mountain of cars coming around. Do they get past him? Yes, everybody does, thankfully. Dallas just overdoing it. In for the start. Parkinson looking for that inside jump. Green flag goes, but Cottrell's equal in power. 47 is Stevie Stewart. Underneath Stewart goes Stephen Miller. Now Stewart's got the power down the outside to get past Ivor Beneke in the Black Firebird car 3. He's up behind Tony Parkinson, and they're breathing down the neck of Kim Cottrell as he goes down the straight. Cottrell now. Parkinson looking for that inside line. Cottrell not yielding, and Parkinson backs up with a wheel on the infield. Cottrell still holding those 3 Grand Nationals. They're waiting now. They're going to try for the outside. Stevie Stewart goes in the middle and gets himself clobbered from side to side. Backs off. And Parkinson now pushed up high. Parkinson goes and gets smashed in the front by Stewart as the Grand Nationals really have it coming together on the back straight. They're still mobile. Rack Quinn's in there now somehow or another. Rack Quinn, the running second in the Super Sedans. Kim Cottrell now with Stephen Miller chewing at the side of the car as they go down there. Peter Drew spins infield. That's the car with half the side missing. Kim Cottrell still hanging in there. Cottrell driving a dream line, certainly keeping his act together. He's not letting anybody. They want to go. They've got to go the outside. And that's the way to do it. Cottrell doing it well, holding on to that line. Stephen Miller gives him a nudge in the back. Try to get him offline. Cottrell's having none of it. Cottrell driving a great race tonight. Tremendous stuff. Keeping these big, more powerful Grand Nationals at bay. Stephen Miller must be getting frustrated. Paul Lever down the outside of the track there now. He's got problems. Cottrell goes up a bit high. This could be the break. No, he's got the power. He goes around Scruff Bryan and tops down tight. Shuts the inside line immediately from Stephen Miller. Boy, this is... Oh, no, he's left it open. Miller's through like a rocket. Miller's through, but he's gone up high. Can he come back on him? No, Miller's got the power. Miller's got the power with 1 lap to go. It's Stephen Miller out in the front. And there's Parkinson now trying to get the line. And there it is, car number 91 over the line first. In second spot, 63, Kim Cottrell. Then we've got 18, Tony Parkinson. And then Rat Gwynn, Scruff Bryant back behind them, Dean McCarthy, Ivor Beneke, Dallas Dyson, Joan Miller, Tony Howlett, Max Thompson. But a tremendous run there for car number 91. And finally done it. Stephen Miller has taken the checkered flag in a darn good drive, a patient drive, persevering behind Kim Cottrell to finally Cottrell opened the gate, and that's all that he needed, and through he was like a rocket to get into the lead and take the checkered flag. 91, Stephen Miller first, 63, Kim Cottrell second, 18, Tony Parkinson third, the time 2:17.8, and that was for 9 laps, remaining laps after the stoppage.
Well, Steve, how does it feel to have a feature win?
It's terrific after a lot of years.
Now, you've been racing for a few seasons now, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done 3 in the midget, and now I'm back into the saloon car.
And you actually started out as?
Oh, I first started out in a little Mini up at Murray Bridge driving around. Yeah.
Now, a few people actually are sort of wondering why you've switched from one to another. Which do you prefer?
Oh, the midgets are a lot better to drive, I think. It's a lot more better racing. There's no crash and bash or anything. But the saloon cars are a good challenge, and I'm up there. I can race against Mum again.
So this means you can actually travel around the country a bit?
Yeah, that's right. We can all stick together as a family and race together. It's good.
Well, you certainly do stick together as a family, but out on the track, different story.
Yeah, it's all one and all out there. Right. Go for it.
Well, the car's going quite well. Do you have anything to do with the preparation of it?
Paul Zidis and Paul Taylor do the main body work and all the chassis and everything. I'm there to help him. My brother Darryl, he builds the motors. He does a real good job on them. Done a real good job on the last one.
Certainly did, that's for sure. So what do you plan to do from now on?
I'm going to do another season in Grand Nationals and then see what happens from there.
Cars forming up now for the Scotch Petroleum Speed Car Stars Scratch. And out in front there is a fast-moving Ron Gates. And no, we don't get a start. Ron's a bit anxious to get mobile. Bit of smoke coming from Ron's car there too. Could be a little bit ominous. On the outside of him is Phil Hareen, and Hareen would have to be odds-on favourite to take the race out. On the inside of the second row there in car 6 is Terry Wigsell. Terry having a fantastic run at the moment with that car. It's all sorted out. It's handling really well. The engine is pulling it around the track. Oh, and a tangle there immediately, and it's Gates. Gates getting clipping the side of a car, and we've also got another one propped up there on the back of Hareen's car. That looks like Bill Wigsell. Bill Wigsell, I don't believe that. That was incredible. Just as the race is getting underway, just that's the trouble with open wheelers. You just got to bounce a wheel, and you're in strife. And that's Bill Wigsell on the back of Phil Hareen's car. Well, let's hope there's not all that much damage. Coming in for a start now in the Scotch Petroleum Speed Car Scratch, minus, of course, Ron Gates, who was involved in its bill, and minus Gary Williams as well. There they go, the two Wigsells. And I believe that's Terry Wigsell on the inside. On the outside is Phil Hareen. Second, third spot is Father Bill Wigsell. And Steve Hennig behind him. Well, that's Phil March. That's Phil March in the yellow car. Steve Hennig back in the rear with the white nose on the car. But there they are. It's Terry Wigsell out in the lead. Phil Hareen in second spot. Hareen coming up now behind Wigsell. Terry Wigsell bringing it through the corner. Does a very nice line indeed. Down the straight, a little bit wide down the straight. Hareen unable to make any ground on him though. And meanwhile, there's Bill Wigsell with Phil March coming up behind him. Now there's a passing move out front. Oh, just pipped him on the post there to Terry Wigsell. Bill Hareen really flying down the back straight there and got the ground on Terry Wigsell. Now he's going to try for the outside one. Loses an enormous amount of ground, getting an awful line into the corner. But he's made it up. Look at the speed he's got down the back straight. It's Hareen gaining on Terry Wigsell. Terry Wigsell holding a fairly tight line there, and he'll have to do that too with Hareen right behind him. Look at this, side by side into the corner. Now Wigsell puts the power on down the back straight. There's the battle for second between car 4, Bill Wigsell on the left of your screen, the white car, and the yellow car is Phil March, current South Australian champ. But We're on the last lap. Now here's a move. Here it is. The lead is under challenge. Oh, I don't know how Terry Wiggsell shut that gate on Phil Areen, but he did. Now Areen's got the inside line down the back straight. He's got the power into the corner. They tangle and over goes Areen. Areen, an end veranda into the fence. And Phil Areen comes unstuck in the worst possible way. That car just seemed to hang in midair there before crashing down onto the track and destroying itself as it cannoned into the fence. And we'll be over there to see how Phil Areen is. This is a particularly violent rollover, and we can only hope that Phil is okay. Track doctor is over there with him and the St. John ambulance crew. And they'll be checking out Phil to see if he's okay. One of the Mr. Nice Guys of Speedway is Phil Areen, a guy who's been around around Speedway longer than I care to remember. He's been out there doing battle with the likes of Bill Wiggsell for many, many years. And a particularly violent rollover. Should be one to watch in this one too. Okay, they come around for a start now. The field fairly spread out. We get the green flag. Let's have a look at how they do this straight this time. One going rocketing through on the inside. There is Terry Wiggsell. And Nigel Benson and Leif Mitchell lock up there. Here comes Phil March. Look at him come through around the outside as Terry Wiggsell. March has certainly grounded up this field. He's up behind the leaders already with Terry Wiggsell right behind him. Through goes March. Oh, March tangles with Nigel Benson. Terry Wiggsell goes through behind him. And they're in the lead. Out in the lead. Phil March, Terry Wiggsell. See how Terry Wiggsell's been going exceptionally well the last couple of weeks. Gets a bit crossed up there as he almost drives over March, so loses a bit of ground, but he'll make that up fairly quickly. Here he comes, driving a higher line through the corner, but keeping the speed up. 78, Phil March, down the straight. There's Dean Hogarth and Brian Mullins having a battle on there, around about 5th and 6th, but up a little bit higher is Bill Wiggsell. He's trying to get past Nigel Benson. There's Dean Hogarth still. And there's the tussle between Bill Wiggsell in car 4 and Nigel Benson. Wiggsell rounds him up on the outside. Wealth of experience there, and Bill Wiggsell moves up into 3rd spot. So the race leader Phil March, then Terry Wiggsell, then Bill Wiggsell. There's Marchie down the straight now. Got Wattangle over there on the corner with the 2 cars, one on top of the other. It looks like Dean Hogarth and Brian Mullins. Well, suspended in mid-air there. I haven't seen that for a long, long time at Speedway. One car resting across the front of the other. Well, there's something amazing. Dean Hogarth, who was resting across the top of Gary Williams' car, has called for the push car and got a restart. But not so with car number 33. Brian Mullins' car. There's the green flag. We've got a restart. And away they go. These two. Terry Wiggsell looking for the outside line around Trevor March. And underneath he goes. Phil March, I should say. And gives Marchie a shunt up high. And through goes Wiggsell. Here comes Bill Wiggsell coming up behind. So it's Terry Wiggsell out in the front. Then Phil March. Then Bill Wiggsell back behind him. Terry Wiggsell. And he looks like he's got the goods on Phil March too. Bill Wiggsell coming up behind them now. These three separated from the rest of the pack. Bill March. Bill Wiggsell coming in behind Marchie. Terry Wiggsell slightly higher line down this straight. Comes through the corner. Bill March on 3 wheels now. And Terry Wiggsell puts the foot down the back straight. And we've got stoppage coming up with car 25, Bob Sincock on the southern corner. Green light stays on though. There they are trying to get that car off the track. And they have. They've finally got it away from the oncoming traffic. And here's a challenge with Bill Wiggsell now challenging Phil March. Whoa, Phil March. He's certainly not back on the pace. The car's not going as well. Or is it that the Wiggsells have just got these cars running so well? Phil March. Bill Wiggsell right behind him. Bill Wiggsell looking for an outside run there. Terry Wiggsell now in the lead. Terry is doing it well. Now Bill Wiggsell challenging Phil March. These three, that's where the action certainly is. Terry Wiggsell leads them round. The yellow car is Phil March. Bill Wiggsell back behind him. That Lambert pulling infield there, and I believe Steve Hennig has also withdrawn from the race. But out front, it's Terry Wigzell. He's got 4 circuits of Speedway Park to go. And 78, Phil March. Back behind him has got no answer. What can Bill Wigzell do? Can Bill Wigzell get through? Bill Wigzell be left behind. He got a bit balked coming out of a corner and lost a bit of ground and hasn't been able to make that up. R6, Terry Wigzell out in front. Phil March got no answer for him. 3 laps to go. Terry Wigzell. Phil March, Bill Wigzell dropped back a little from them. You can see the gap there now. Terry Wigzell, Phil March. Bill Wigzell dropping back. Now here's a move. Terry Wigzell slowed down a little bit, a slower car there. There's 1 lap to go. Phil March right behind him now. He won't want to make a false move, that's for sure. Terry Wigzell hanging on. Hanging on to the lead. Phil March in second spot. Wigzell opens up a small gap. Not enough to be comfortable. Brings it through the corner. This is the checkered flag. And there it is. Twin checkered flags for 6. Terry Wigzell over the line first. 78, Phil March second. 4, Bill Wigzell third. Followed by Carmine, Dean Hogarth in there. Leith Mitchell was up there too. With 27 is Gary Williams, 56 Billahang, and 62 Nigel Benson. A tremendous race for Terry Wigzell to hold off the attack of Phil March, to wrest the lead from him, and then to hold off that attack, and under enormous pressure there for about 10 of the 15 laps. And he goes on a lap of honour carrying the checkered flag, and a justly deserved lap of honour too for Terry Wigzell. The placings are official. 6 Terry Wigzell first, 78 Phil March second, 4 Bill Wigzell third, and the time for the event was 2:54 for the Repco Lorimer Speed Car feature.
Dean, you've been racing for a few years now. Why is it you particularly still enjoy it?
Well, I've said to my wife that if I ever start to create problems on the track where I run into people or create any problem at all, I'll give it away. But I don't do this very often. And
no, well, you certainly haven't done tonight. You've had quite a good run with the car.
Oh, yes, it's going better than it has been. I've had a lot of bad luck, but this is racing. You get this.
That's great. Now, you actually do a fair bit of work on the car yourself, don't you, between races?
Oh, yes. That way, you've got nobody else to blame. If it's not going, it's my fault.
Right. That's also why we can never catch you to have a chat with you.
That could be right.
But anyway, you're still going strong. What are your plans at the moment?
Well, my wife would like me to retire. I've been going to retire for the last 10 years, but I still play.
Actually, I got a great photo of you at home from one of the programs back in '67. I must bring you that to remind you of those days too.
They were the best years of Speedway. They've gone.
Yeah, it's quite a very different sport nowadays, but you must be pleased with the safety precautions though.
Yes, I think it creates a lot of very brave men. If you took the roll cages and the roll bar, all the safety equipment off, half these guys wouldn't be driving. They're not very many men left in the sport.
The Bowies now right at the back of the field on an 8-lap handicap race for the Formula 500s. And you've got 8 laps to make up a half a lap almost over the race leaders. And it's certainly going to have their work cut out for them. Gary Baker is out in the lead there in car number 45. Beside him, or behind him, is Phil Bass. 3 wide, they come through that corner. Got Dennis Tune in there, and he's being rounded up by Brian Golding as Golding goes on the outside. It is 45. That's Gary Baker, and on the outside of him is Phil Bass, and Bass wants through. And certainly close, almost touching wheels there as they go down the straight. Around the outside, wrapping them up, or trying to, is Ken Chapman there in the yellow car. Bass is in the lead. Phil Bass. Here comes Ken Chapman in car 12. Back in the field, there's Don Bowie, or rather Ken Bowie, Don's brother, coming through the field. And he's got clear space ahead of him to make up to the leaders. Out on Ken's heels, by the way, there was Don Bowie, but there's Ken Chapman. Chapman is now in the lead. Chapman wheeling around to round up one of the slower cars. And that's one of the O'Shea boys. On the outside here is Gary Baker, right on the fence. Circulates around, but it's Ken Chapman down the back straight. And Kenny Chapman is There's Bowie, Ken Bowie coming through. Don Bowie there in the white car, Ken Bowie in the blue one. And they're rounding up Phil Bass, one either side. Don Bowie gets the jump into the corner. Ken Bowie on the outside. You've got 27 Dale Packham in there as well. He's also a fast mover through the field. They've got 3 circuits of Speedway Park left to go. The race leader is Ken Chapman. He's coming down the straight now. There he goes, over the line. 2 laps to go. Can the Bowie boys make up the difference? They're certainly putting all stops out. There's Don Bowie. He's Australian champion. Don Bowie trying to round him up. 1 lap to go. Can he get the distance? Ken Chapman, one of the faster movers among the Formula 500s, and he's certainly showing the way home. And I think he might do this. He might beat the Bowie boys on the handicap. Don Bowie down the back straight, desperately trying to make up ground. Comes into the corner, getting closer and closer all the time. Chapman goes up high and wide, and Chapman's won it. Ken Chapman over the line first. Australia 1. Don Bowie in for second. 4. We've got Ken Bowie third, 27 Dale Packham behind him, then Phil Bass, Brian Golding.
Ken, we knew these cars some years ago as TQs. How have they changed?
Well, they were called TQs when they used to run down at Rowley Park some years ago. The class lost popularity, and now they've sort of gone full circle and starting to come right back into the fore.
They've always been around on the country tracks, haven't they?
Yeah, Murray Bridge have been very good to us. Been running up there for many years, and the track's a bit smaller, but they're very, very quick around there.
Yes. So thanks very much for telling us about the Formula 500.